What if I told you that some of the most well-known R&B artists had secret lovers hidden from the public's eyes, only to be revealed after their death? From Ray Charles, who had numerous secret lovers and had multiple children from these women, to Marvin Gaye, who was involved in a romantic relationship with both men and women. Here are 20 R&B stars who kept a secret lover until the day they died. Number 1. James Brown. James Brown is frequently given credit for influencing the evolution of the R&B, funk, and soul genres. He transformed the music industry with his focus on rhythm and invention of tight, syncopated grooves. Papa's got a brand new bag. I got you. I feel good. Get up and say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud are some of his most well-known songs. The last one became an anthem for the civil rights movement. James Brown, who is well known for his thrilling live performances, established the benchmark for showmanship in live music. His concerts became legendary due to his powerful voice, engaging dancing skills such as the mashed potato and his well-known James Brown Shuffle, and intense force. James Brown had a turbulent personal life that frequently made headlines due to his numerous marriages and relationships. He had multiple marriages and numerous children, some of whom have discussed their complex ties with him since his passing. Controversies surrounded his personal life, including allegations of abuse and legal troubles. Public rumors about secret lovers and relationships that were kept out of the public eye during James Brown's career fueled suspicion about his love life. It has been stated that several of these liaisons and affairs were only made public after his passing. His personal life was even more mysterious because he was known to have had love relationships with a number of women, some of whom he kept out of the public spotlight. Next up is an artist who was posthumously awarded a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. Number 2. Sam Cooke. Known as the King of Soul, Sam Cooke was an innovative American singer, composer, and businessman. His ability to merge pop, R&B, and gospel with his rich, smooth voice helped influence the style of contemporary soul music. Cooke was among the first musicians of African American descent to take charge of his own business and career. He established SAR Records, his own record company, in the early 1960s, and started his own business in a field that was frequently controlled by white executives. He is also recognized for having paved the path for upcoming black musicians to have greater autonomy and control over their work. Sam Cooke's personal life, especially his relationships with women, was frequently the focus of gossip. Throughout his career, there were rumors and speculations of secret lovers and affairs, despite the fact that, like many celebrities of his time, he kept his love life hidden. Although some have stated he had other, less well-known relationships as well, he was married twice. First to Barbara Campbell, with whom he had 3 children, and then to Linda Womack, the musician Bobby Womack's daughter. Sam Cooke was shot and died at the Hacienda Motel in Los Angeles on December 11, 1964, under circumstances that are still debatable today. The motel's manager, Bertha Franklin, is said to have shot him during an altercation in which Cooke allegedly attempted to barge into a room that was occupied by a lady named Eileen Merriman. There are a lot of theories about Cooke's death, some of which point to conspiracy or foul play. Cooke's death may have been related to his business activities, relationships, or even the complicated racial dynamics of the time, according to others. The circumstances of his death, however, have never been adequately clarified or addressed. Number 3. Aretha Franklin. Franklin's career as a professional musician started in 1960 when she signed with Columbia Records, but her breakthrough into prominence came in 1967 when she signed with Atlantic Records. During that time, several of her most enduring singles were released, such as Think, I Never Loved a Man, The Way I Love You, and Respect. A Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award was given to Aretha in 1994, one of her 18 Grammy honors. In 1987, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inducted her as its first female member. Ted White, a manager and music producer, was her first husband, and they had a son, Ted Jr. In the midst of turbulent circumstances and abuse charges, the marriage ended in divorce. Her second marriage was to the well-known actor Glynn Turman. Even after their divorce, the two stayed friends. There have been many stories and speculations regarding Aretha Franklin's romances, despite the fact that she never publicly acknowledged having a secret lover like some of her peers could have. Her relationship with Willie Wilkerson, a lifelong friend with whom she was supposedly very close, was among the most prominent. In interviews, Aretha had talked candidly about him and their strong love, but they were never married and had a quite private relationship. But there were also allegations that, especially after her divorces, Aretha had other relationships, including ones with men who were not officially acknowledged. The identities of some of these alleged secret lovers were never revealed, and information on their relationships was mostly left up to speculation. Throughout her life, Aretha Franklin dealt with a number of health issues. Despite receiving a pancreatic cancer diagnosis in 2010, she kept performing and appearing in public until the mid-2010s, when her health started to deteriorate even further. On August 16, 2018, Aretha Franklin died of pancreatic cancer at the age of 76. A global outpouring of condolences and tributes to her death demonstrated the significant influence she had on the music industry and on generations of admirers. Number 4. Marvin Gaye. With the release of his early successes, such as Hitchhike and Pride and Joy, Gaye made his breakthrough, but it was his more intimate, sentimental approach that brought him real fame in the 1970s, starting with the album What's Going On, which went on to become one of the most important songs in music history. Marvin Gaye's personal life was characterized by both great upheaval and creative intensity. He and his father had a tense and aggressive relationship. He had serious psychiatric problems such as substance misuse and depression, which made his life challenging and complex. In 1963, he married his first wife, Anna Gordy, who was the sister of Motown founder Berry Gordy. Their tumultuous marriage ended in divorce in 1977. His latter marriage to Janice Hunter in 1977 was turbulent, characterized by his adultery and personal hardships. Despite having 2 children together, they divorced in 1981. Marvin Gaye's romantic relationships were frequently covered by the media. During his life, he had a number of hidden lovers, including reported relationships with other women while he was married, despite the fact that his weddings were public. Marvin Gaye's gender orientation was the subject of speculation and rumors throughout his career, especially around his alleged encounters with men. Despite the fact that Marvin never publicly recognized or denied these allegations, several people thought he had secret lovers. His death was one of the saddest stories in music history because of the circumstances surrounding it, as well as his personal and family problems. Number 5. Whitney Houston. Hits like How Will I Know and Saving All My Love for You from Whitney Houston's highly successful debut album launched her to prominence. Whitney's status as a worldwide celebrity was solidified by her second album, Whitney, which featured singles like I Want to Dance with Somebody Who Loves Me and Didn't We Almost Have It All. Whitney experienced personal difficulties that affected her work life even as her career took off. In 1992, she wed R&B artist Bobby Brown. Their marriage was turbulent and widely reported. Much of her career in the 1990s and early 2000s was overshadowed by the couple's substance misuse issues and claims of domestic violence. In the 2000s, Whitney's substance problems, along with the demands of celebrity, caused public scandals and a downturn in her career. She had multiple periods of rehabilitation, and her performance started to fluctuate. Robin Crawford, Whitney's longtime companion and aide, was frequently suspected of being more than just a friend. Whitney's biography, A Song for You, later verified the allegations that the two were romantically together. Although there have been rumors over the years that Whitney had dated other women and men, none of them have ever been verified. Whitney kept her personal life extremely quiet, and she was rarely spotted in public with love partners until the dissolution of her marriage to Bobby Brown. On February 11, 2012, Whitney Houston, unforeseen, died at the age of 48. The night before the Grammy Awards, she was discovered unconscious in her hotel room at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Beverly Hills, California. Number 6. Luther Vandross. In 1981, Vandross made his solo debut with the release of his debut album, Luther, which included the hit single, never too much. His soft vocals and ability to combine pop and R&B sensibilities were on full display in the song, which became an immediate hit. Some of the most well-known songs in R&B history may be found on Luther Vandross's numerous platinum-selling albums from the 1980s and 1990s. Vandross's gender orientation has been the subject of long-running speculations, with many people guessing that he was gay, especially given his lack of relationships with women in public. He never publicly acknowledged or denied these reports, though, which fueled media speculation. Many of Luther Vandross's songs are regarded as love anthems, and his music was intensely romantic. Despite the mystery surrounding his private life, his songs revealed his profound knowledge of relationships and love. There have been rumors among fans that his compositions, especially Dance with My Father, were influenced by his own life, including his interactions with loved ones. Luther Vandross had a stroke in 2003 that had a major effect on his health. He needed to work with speech and physical therapists since he was unable to perform at the same level as before the stroke. He persisted in writing music in spite of these obstacles, and soon after his recuperation, his last CD, Dance with My Father, was released. After suffering a stroke, Luther Vandross died on July 1st, 2005, at the age of 54. Number 7. Ray Charles. Ray Charles's first major hit came in the 1950s as a result of his early work as a session musician and band leader. He began recording some of his early singles, such as I Got a Woman, which became one of his signature songs when he signed with Atlantic Records in 1955. This song incorporated R&B with gospel, a genre that would later be referred to as soul music. In 1955, Ray married his first wife, Della Beatrice Howard Robinson. Following 22 years of a tumultuous marriage, they divorced in 1977. The two maintained their friendship in later life in spite of their difficulties. Elsie Hamilton was his second wife, whom he wed in 1986. Until his death in 2004, they remained together. It was also well known that Ray Charles had several extramarital affairs and love relationships. Throughout his life, he reportedly had several partners, and he was well known for being transparent about them. Because of his reputation for being incredibly captivating, the musician attracted a lot of ladies. He himself never concealed his womanizing habits, which were frequently a part of his public image. In interviews, he was unrepentant about his adventures and admitted to having relationships with women. Ray Charles experienced serious health issues in his later years. His health started to decline in the 1990s and early 2000s, although he still performed and recorded music. Because of his liver ailment, he eventually passed away. Their hearts were kept secret, but their voices captivated the world. Number 8. Bobby Womack. Over the course of his 6-decade career, Bobby Womack was a significant American R&B singer, songwriter, guitarist, and producer. Womack, renowned for his rich emotional range, soulful voice, and extraordinary musical ability, left a lasting impression on the R&B, soul, and pop music industry. Bobby Womack's union with Barbara Campbell, the widow of Sam Cooke, was one of his most well-known and discussed relationships. The public felt outraged over this relationship, particularly those who believed that Cooke, his former mentor and friend, had been betrayed. Despite not being a secret lover in the conventional sense, Womack's relationship with Cooke's widow was undoubtedly tainted by controversy, because it was not made public until after Sam Cooke's tragic passing. Throughout his career, Womack's love life was turbulent. Although he had several formal weddings, he also had a number of private affairs and relationships outside of his marriages. Many of these partners were unnamed or largely unknown until later in his life, and details about these relationships were frequently kept out of the public eye. Like many singers, Womack had a reputation for being charming and charismatic, which helped him land a number of love relationships with women both inside and outside of the music industry. Some of these secret encounters were said to have had a long-lasting effect on his personal and professional life, and his relationships were frequently kept under wraps. He was able to keep some parts of his romantic life private because he was an artist, particularly before the internet and the emergence of celebrity tabloids. Number 9. Keith Sweat. Make It Last Forever was Keith Sweat's first album and a huge hit. His position in the new jack swing style was strengthened by the album, which included singles like I Want Her and Make It Last Forever. Both fans and journalists were drawn to his blend of Teddy Riley's avant-garde new jack swing production with his silky R&B vocals. It is impossible to overstate Keith Sweat's impact on the R&B genre. His seductive songs, including Twisted and Nobody, which were both enormous hits, helped him gain recognition. His voice helped define the genre for years to come by fusing deep R&B with seductive love song. Keith Sweat had 2 previous marriages. Sharina Hudson was his first wife, but after a number of years, they got divorced. They have children together. In the 2000s, he later wed Jillian L. Spear, but the 2 of them divorced as well. Like many celebrities in the entertainment sector, Sweat has openly acknowledged his marriages and romantic relationships, but there have been whispers and speculations of secret partners and affairs. Some of these romances were never made public, and Sweat's romantic life was probably kept somewhat secret, as many celebrities do in order to preserve some privacy, in spite of their fame. Keith Sweat frequently wrote songs and ballads about love, desire, and heartbreak, and his romantic, dapper image as a ladies' man served as the foundation of his public character. Fans thought he was both a heartthrob and a man with a complex love life because of his seductive voice and flirty lyric. Consequently, particularly in the early years of his career, there were tales circulating about his relationships and hidden girlfriends. Number 10. Jodeci's Devante Swing. The songs Come and Talk to Me and Forever My Lady from Jodeci's debut album, Forever My Lady, grabbed headlines in the early 1990s. The album's distinctive sound, which Devante Swing helped create, combined hip-hop-influenced beats with R&B ballads. One of the more reclusive Jodeci members was Devante Swing. He kept many of his romances under wraps and rarely discussed his romantic life in public, unlike several of his bandmates. Because of his tendency to conceal his private matters from the public, there was probably speculation that he had secret lovers or romantic relationships that the general public was ignorant of. Like many well-known people in the music industry, there were rumors that he had relationships with other R&B singers and female musicians, but it was hard to verify anything significant because of the secrecy surrounding his personal life. In interviews and public appearances, Devante was known to steer clear of discussing his love life. This only served to feed speculation that he might have been avoiding the spotlight for certain relationships or lovers, which was a frequent practice for many celebrities in the 1990s when media attention was at its highest. Devante Swing's influence in the music industry started to wane in the late 1990s and early 2000s. Jodeci experienced a period of quiet as a result of internal conflicts, personal problems, and potential addiction concerns. Devante was notorious for his often unpredictable conduct, and over time, there were reports of substance usage and other personal issues. Number 11. Tina Turner. Tina was raised in a low-income household and encountered numerous difficulties at a young age, such as a challenging upbringing and the experience of being away from her family. She fell in love with music early on, and meeting Ike Turner, a well-known musician and bandleader, in 1957 was her big break. She started playing in his band and soon rose to the top of the lineup. After they formed Ike and Tina Turner, she was referred to as Little Ann before changing her name to Tina Turner. Like her singing career, Tina Turner's personal life was frequently complicated. Her marriage to Ike Turner was a stormy and brutal one. Despite being one of the most well-known musical duos of their era, due to their professional relationship, Ike's abuse was widely known. Tina remained quiet in her personal life for several years after leaving the marriage. Tina married German music executive Erwin Bach in 1986, and the two stayed together until her passing. Their relationship was a peaceful contrast to her former marriage, and Tina regarded it as one of profound love and great respect. She became a Swiss citizen while residing in Switzerland with Erwin. Though much of Tina Turner's personal life was kept secret, particularly in her later years, there were rumors of her secret lovers. Her career and personal well-being appeared to be her top priorities after her divorce from Ike, and she seldom ever talked about her romantic life in public. Number 12. Minnie Riperton. Minnie Riperton's career took off after her 1974 album, Perfect Angel, which featured her biggest hit, Lovin' You, was released. One of her defining songs, it became a global sensation and demonstrated her amazing ability to hit high notes, particularly in the famous whistle register. Lovin' You is still considered a classic and peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. Riperton's passionate delivery and the song's calming, melodic elements make it a timeless anthem, particularly in the context of romantic ballads. The popularity of the song also contributed to Minnie Riperton's rise to prominence in the soul music scene of the 1970s. The music career of Minnie Riperton was closely linked to her personal life. She got married to music producer and songwriter Richard Rudolph. One of the couple's 2 children is Maya Rudolph, a well-known comedian and actress who has appeared in movies including Bridesmaids and The Way Back, in addition to her work on Saturday Night Live. Despite the fact that Minnie Riperton and Richard Rudolph's marriage was widely reported, there have been random rumors and speculations of her having secret relationships. These rumors, though, have never been generally verified or supported. A large portion of her personal life probably remained hidden because she was a somewhat quiet person when it came to personal things, apart from her marriage. The early stages of Riperton's sickness were mainly kept under wraps, and she didn't publicly disclose her cancer diagnosis until 1979. She continued to work on songs and performances in the last year of her life because she wanted to prolong her career. After the publication of her final album, Minnie, in 1979, she kept performing until her health severely deteriorated. Lovin' You was sung by Riperton at the American Cancer Society's The Night of 100 Stars charity event, which was her final public engagement. Sadly, Minnie Riperton died on July 12, 1979, at the age of 31 from breast cancer. Number 13. Alicia Keys. At the age of 15, Alicia Keys signed a record deal with Columbia Records. However, it was when she changed to J Records and released her first album, Songs in a Minor, in 2001 that she made her breakthrough. The album's smash singles, Fallen and A Woman's Worth, made it an immediate success. Featuring her unique fusion of jazz, R&B, soul, and classical piano, Songs in a Minor won her 5 Grammy Awards in 2002, including Song of the Year and Best New Artist for Fallen, and this was only the start of a remarkable career. Alicia Keys had a relationship with producer and longtime collaborator Carrie Crucial Brothers prior to Swizz Beatz. Their romance ended before she started dating Swizz Beatz. However, they were involved for a while. Since Swizz Beatz was still married to his ex-wife, Mashonda Tifreri, at the time of their relationship, there was also a lot of media coverage when Alicia and Swizz first started dating. Although the issue attracted a lot of public attention, Alicia and Swizz Beatz have remained close, and their marriage has been characterized as loving and strong. There hasn't been any reliable evidence to support the idea that Alicia had any high-profile or covert love affairs in the public view, despite the odd claims about her having hidden romances or past fling. The majority of the stories that have surfaced were unsupported hearsay or media speculations that Alicia herself never verified. Number 14. Ray Charles. In 1951, Ray Charles made a significant breakthrough with his popular song, I Got a Woman, which innovatively combined R&B and gospel. His ability to fuse rhythm and blues with gospel-style singing turned out to be one of the most important developments in contemporary popular music. Ray Charles was initially married to Eileen Williams, with whom he had 3 children. But after roughly 10 years, their marriage ended in divorce. Ray Charles married Della Beatrice Howard Robinson, a native of his hometown, in 1955. After more than 20 years of marriage and 3 children together, they finally got divorced in 1977. It was well known that Ray Charles had numerous love relationships both before and after his marriages. His numerous relationships with women, which were frequently kept secret or only became public later, were a result of his wandering musician lifestyle and the demands of celebrity. During his lifetime, there were rumors about Charles's secret lovers, and he had multiple children from these unions. The specifics of these relationships are still unknown, though, as many of his indiscretions were not publicly revealed until after his passing. Many details of his romances are unknown or speculative because he was notorious for keeping his romantic life discreet. One of the numerous personal issues Ray Charles dealt with during his career was his heroin addiction. He started abusing heroin in the late 1940s, and it became a lifelong struggle for him. His addiction resulted in numerous arrests and career losses. Ray Charles died of liver disease complications at the age of 73. For one of the finest musicians of the 20th century, his passing signaled the end of an era. Number 15, Diana Ross. With the help of renowned Motown producer Berry Gordy, Diana Ross joined the Primettes, a girl group that would later be known as the Supremes, marking the beginning of her rise to fame. In 1961, Diana Ross took over as the group's lead vocalist, and they changed their name to the Supremes. She made the ensemble one of the most successful groups in music history with her unique voice and captivating presence. Diana Ross initially married music executive Robert Ellis Silberstein. After being married in 1971, the couple produced 2 daughters, Chudney Ross and Rhonda Ross Kendrick. However, despite supposedly being on good terms, the couple was divorced in 1977. In 1985, Diana Ross got married to Norwegian businessman Arne Næss Jr. Together, the couple had 2 kids, Ross and Evan Næss. Ross has kept up a friendly contact with her ex-husband since their divorce in 2000. Diana Ross's love life has been the focus of gossip, speculations, and rumor. Although many of the tales of her secret affairs and lovers were never verified, they persisted throughout her career. Diana Ross was also romantically involved with a number of men in the music industry, including well-known singers and actors. But once more, many of these relationships were never completely revealed or publicly acknowledged. Diana Ross has rarely responded to allegations about her relationships and has frequently kept her personal life quiet. Number 16, Prince Rogers Nelson. At the age of 20, Prince's first album, For You, was released. It demonstrated his versatility as an artist and showed off his ability to play almost every instrument on the record. Despite not being a huge commercial success, Prince's remarkable musicianship was recognized thanks to the album. His first major hit was his second album, Prince, which featured hits like I Wanna Be Your Lover, which peaked at number 10 in R&B. It demonstrated his developing ability to fuse pop, rock, funk, and soul with catchy melodies and groove-heavy rhythms, bringing a new, innovative artist to the scene. Prince was extremely private about his relationships. His first marriage to Mayte Garcia in 1996 ended in divorce in 2000. He then married Manuela Testolini in 2001, but they divorced in 2006. Prince, however, was said to have had a number of hidden lovers in between these famous romances, some of whom were never formally verified. Although he was frequently linked to a number of women, it's difficult to determine how many of these relationships were romantic or merely close acquaintances because of his secretive personality. There are rumors that he had extramarital affairs, especially with persons who weren't his spouses, although the specifics are still unclear and speculative. According to rumors, Prince also dated a number of well-known ladies, such as Susanna Melvoin, Sheila E., and Vanity, Denise Matthews. The public's knowledge of these relationships, however, is largely based on media speculation, friend stories, and interviews. The specifics of these relationships were largely kept secret. Prince frequently avoided talking about his personal life in interviews because he was a fierce guardian of his privacy. His relationships were even more mysterious as a result of this. Number 17, Teddy Pendergrass. Pendergrass's romantic songs and soft baritone voice made him the ideal ladies' man in many cases. With hits like Close the Door, Turn Off the Lights, and Love TKO, which became anthems of intimacy and love, he rose to fame in the 1970s and 1980s. His attractive appearance and rich, deep voice earned him a huge favorite among female followers. In the 1980s, Pendergrass got married to Karen White. However, their union was kept under wraps. Their marriage is not well known to the public, although it is known that they had a son together. White has mostly kept their relationship and her personal life out of the spotlight. Pendergrass revealed that he had a covert relationship with a Hollywood actress during his years in the spotlight in an eye-opening interview following his accident. The actress's name, however, was never made public and continued to be a mystery pertaining to his private life. Due to his reputation as a global hottie, there were numerous, mostly unfounded allegations regarding his relationships with other women. Fans and some tabloids speculated about Teddy's romantic relationships with different ladies. But Teddy himself always kept a certain amount of privacy about these things. Though never verified, there were rumors that he may have had secret affairs with well-known ladies in the world of entertainment. One of their life's major unsolved mysteries will probably always be their secret relationships and love affairs, especially those that were never revealed. Number 18. Michael Jackson. With the release of Off the Wall in 1979, Michael Jackson's solo career really took off. The album, which included singles like Don't Stop Till You Get Enough and Rock With You, was the start of his ascent to fame as a pop sensation around the world. But his Thriller album from 1982 cemented his legacy in music history. With over 66 million copies sold worldwide, Thriller became the best-selling album of all time. The album featured iconic hits like Billie Jean, Thriller, Beat It, Wanna Be Startin' Something. In 2016, actress and former Epic Records employee Shana Mengatal wrote a memoir titled The King of My Life, Michael Jackson's Secret Lover, in which she claimed to have had a secret romantic relationship with Jackson in the early 1990s, describing it as more of a hidden interaction that Jackson kept secret in order to preserve his public persona and avoid publicity. The details in the book, however, have not been widely confirmed and are primarily anecdotal. Many rumors and guesses have been made over the years regarding Michael Jackson's other secret relationships with women and possibly men, considering some of the more speculative claims that were not made public. To support these assertions, however, no one has ever offered hard proof. Number 19. Ruth Brown. Ruth Brown played a key role in Atlantic Records' early success and helped make the company one of the most significant in music history. She was among the first African-American musicians signed to Atlantic, and her work contributed to the label's signature sound, which influenced the rock and roll and R&B revolutions. It was also well known that Ruth Brown had gone through personal challenges, including heartbreaking and difficult relationships. Although she had several marriages, her relationships were frequently turbulent, and she struggled with addiction and other personal concerns. Ruth Brown had a secret lover, but this information was not made public until after her passing. However, given the emotional depth and intimate topics she represented in her songs, there were speculations regarding her personal relationships. It's crucial to remember that Ruth Brown was preoccupied with her work and the challenges of being an African-American musician in a competitive music industry. Therefore, she rarely talked about many aspects of her life, especially her personal relationships, in public. Number 20. Berry Gordy. Gordy was persuaded that he had a future in the music industry after writing the smash song Reet Petite for Jackie Wilson in 1957. Because of his success, he started his own record label, which revolutionized the music industry. In the early 1960s, Gordy married vocalist Raynoma Lyles, who was one of Motown's first partners. Before their marriage ended in divorce, they had 2 children together. Berry married Thelma Gordy, a member of the Gordy family, following his divorce from Raynoma, but their marriage also ended in divorce. Berry Gordy's alleged romance with Diana Ross, the lead vocalist of the Supremes, is among the most well-known parts of his personal life. There were speculations and rumors that Gordy and Ross had a romantic relationship in the 1960s, but their relationship was never thoroughly verified by the public. Gordy reportedly experienced conflict with other Motown artists as a result of the friendship. Ross's career with Motown was incredibly successful, and she went on to become a great solo singer despite their personal relationship. To uncover more intriguing stories among Hollywood celebrities, don't forget to hit subscribe and I'll catch you in the next one.